Happy Friday, beautiful souls, and welcome to Spiritually Her. This is your safe space to explore the magic of inner work, grow your confidence, and embrace your self worth as the ultimate superpower. I'm Terrika Surrenity, your host and guide on this transformative journey. Here, we're breaking barriers, we're rewriting our stories, and stepping fully into that girl energy together. So grab your favorite drink, let's settle in, and let's vibe. Your next level starts right now. Happy Friday, guys! And welcome back to Spiritually Her, the podcast where inner work, confidence, and divine alignment meet. I'm your host, Terrika Surrenity, and this is our season finale, guys. Now, I will say that season two is not going to be long that you guys have to wait. I'm honestly just taking about 2 weeks to reset and just really put in a lot of the work and effort to really make Spiritually Her podcast season two even more elevated, even more amazing than it already is, while also being in the process of building our community. So, things that you guys can expect for season two is interviews with some amazing, divinely guided people. All right. People that are artists, people that are regular people, people that just have some really great life experiences, amazing jobs, amazing stories, and most importantly, they're going to be dropping some gems and help building this community of people and women who are stepping into the journey of their higher selves. So, guys, it won't be long. Give me about 2 weeks, and you guys will definitely be receiving more insight, more laughs, and kikis with me. All right. So, it's bittersweet. It's a bittersweet season finale, but we are going to in this first season, which is episode 16, we're going to end this episode with a bang. And honestly, this episode is a love letter to the version of you that's been calling you home. So I'm naming this episode The Homecoming because lately I've been feeling like Spirit has been calling a lot of us. Not just me, but I feel like this is a very big group of people that are in the process of being called back. And when I say back, I mean back to our truth, back to our power, our roots, our culture, back to the self we may have lost while trying to survive. Like if you've been feeling like something is shifting, like you're being grounded or guided to make a big move, or even that the universe or God is trying to tell you something, then this is the episode for you. So, guys, I got this very strong download about this topic this week based off also my own experiences of homecoming. And just going to go through a little spill with you guys on how I got there. So, this week has been a week full of downloads and synchronicities of me tapping into my ancestral path. And most times when we think of ancestors, we think of the people who we knew personally in this lifespan, this lifetime. But I have been very much pulled and guided by an ancestor who I didn't get the opportunity to meet physically, but being connected to her and her energy recently has been life changing. It has been, I can't really explain it. And when I say her, this person is a grandmother of mine. And growing up, I've only known one grandmother, which was my dad's mom. Rest in peace, Betty. I love you. Love that lady. G Little. That's our name for her. Um, Grandma was a straight gangster out here in these streets, okay? G Little. Don't play with her. But, but on my mom's side, I had a grandmother who I didn't get the opportunity to meet and connect to. I didn't have stories or anything based off of who she was, her personality, things that she liked, because even my mother didn't get an opportunity to have that experience with her in growing up. She was unalived at the age of 31, and my mom at the time was only 2 years old, I believe. So I didn't get much stories or anything about her, but I felt this week this strong call, this strong sense of purpose or reconnection in some sense. I found myself in this loophole, guys, of connecting to her through, summoning, channeling, also through tarot. But she also came to me in my dreams, and you guys know that my dreams are very prominent and very spot on with things, where she was showing me things where I was waking up and I had this inner knowing of things about her where we connected. I even gave her specific signs to show me when we are connected, and she's been speaking, and it has been so eye opening, guys. And her main message was homecoming and tapping into who I have always been, right? But when I say who I've always been, it's tapping into who I was as a young girl who had these spiritual gifts, so many, didn't really see them as gifts or anything spiritual, just saw them as, okay, well, this is a norm for me. This is how I experience life. And I didn't think anything was weird or crazy about it until the outside world made me feel weird or like an outcast, or as if something was wrong with me for feeling these things, to where I rejected myself. I no longer accepted that part of myself because I didn't want to be weird or different. I didn't understand the things that were going on. But having that connection now and speaking on the journey of connecting with our higher selves, sometimes our higher selves are the people we were before all of the outside chatter, distractions, projection, and viewpoints tainted or made us reject who we are authentically called to be. And now I am being called to, and not just me, but I feel like a lot of us, that we are being called to tune back into that. So it's the homecoming of ourselves, right? So talking about like the signs, I know lately this week it has been like 717 for me, 777, 444, 911. Like it has been so much, guys. 888, literally repeated dreams, seeing and being guided down certain paths, even if it's just down the road, seeing certain billboards and signs, literally hearing the phrase homecoming when I was channeling. It's not sometimes just a place. It's not like, okay, well, you need to go home for a minute, or just chill at the house. Sometimes it can be an even stronger pull for a spiritual return. And I know that sometimes when people aren't really tapped in, they would just look at these synchronicities as coincidences, but they're not coincidences. I feel like these are strong invitations that Spirit has been sending us signs, not to scare us, but to show us that our higher selves is trying to break through. I know for some people, thinking of homecoming, that could mean moving, some type of momentum, travel, whatever. But I strongly feel like this homecoming isn't just about packing your bags and leaving. It can mean returning to your purpose, reclaiming your joy, remembering who you are, and remembering your voice. Your whole purpose of choosing this lifetime, choosing this lifespan, and the things that you are meant to do with it. But it took me a minute this week to really get into the meaning of what homecoming means. Because when I first heard it, I was like, I honestly thought of like high school days, homecoming, and like the whole voting of who's this, who's going to be homecoming queen, all of that stuff. And I had to literally meditate and do divination work, and really tap into like my cards and my oracle and just literally, you know, meditate and pray over what is being called of me. And I came down to homecoming is just coming back to yourself after losing pieces of yourself in relationships, jobs, trauma, or even simply just burnout for some people. It's where you are returning to your intuition after years of silencing it, tuning back into your voice after hearing everyone else's criticism and hearing their voice and their viewpoints on what you should be doing, what you should not be doing. Or it can even be just you embracing your spiritual gifts, even when they scare you, or you feel like you are not ready, or you don't have what it takes, or you don't even know what step is next. It is about embracing that because Spirit is calling us to root, to stop abandoning ourselves and to say, you know what, this is me. I am powerful. I am intuitive and I am enough. Sometimes the version of you that you're becoming is the one that you've always been, but now you're ready to remember who that person is. For me, I would say that that person or that version of myself is, like I said, for me when I was younger. I remember it's kind of funny now, but I remember being younger and I used to share a room with my bigger sister and she's 5 years older than me. So at the time I think I was probably about maybe 7, 8ish, I don't know, something around that somewhere around that area. But I used to sleepwalk. I used to talk very vividly in my sleep. And my sister stated that I scared her to the point where my parents moved my bed into the den where at this time we had like a two-bedroom, small, starter home. And I would just be in the living room, sleep. And at first, I saw it as, oh, wow, I get to sleep in there with the big screen TV. Like, this is perfect. It's like having my own room. But then as I got a little older, I felt outcast, where they would be in their rooms with the door closed, and I would just be in the major part of the house alone, almost because, like, people were I don't want to say they were scared or afraid, but where people didn't understand my gifts. I could wake up and have this inner knowing. I could see someone and be like, oh, yeah, this person is XYZ, and no one could understand like why or how I got this information. I I remember one day my mom, she said that she was walking to the kitchen, I think getting something in the middle of the night. She said I was sitting Indian style having a full-fledged conversation. And guys, it's funny to me because it's like I don't remember any of this, and I don't know who I was talking to. I know it would be times where I would wake up and my body would be elsewhere, and I would end up in like another room, or I wake up and I'm in the tub sleep, or whatever the case may be. I just knew I was very sensitive to these gifts, and to me, I had no recognition of that being weird until everyone's opinions and how they looked at me started to make me question. So to me, I feel like I'm tapping back into those gifts because I feel like we get these gifts for a reason. And now that I have tapped into, or honestly, I don't want to say tapped into, but now that I have accepted these parts of myself because I have closed them off for so long, I am welcoming of who I am and learning these gifts and what I am meant to do with them and how I am being molded or guided to help in whatever capacity that I can. And no one in my family can tell me how to expand these gifts or what these gifts are. No one can really guide me on that. And I honestly feel like my connection or reconnection with my grandmother on my mom's side has really been strong in her guiding me through that path because she herself had a lot of gifts that were misunderstood, that no one got. And her leading me in whatever capacity that she is amazing because I don't feel alone in this. Even though I'm not alone and I have protection and, you know, I have a spirit team and, my dad is on the other side, like really but it's just amazing to be able to have this bond and connection with someone who I've never met physically in this realm, but to feel so close to them and so understood and seen, and vice versa, because I am understanding her more, her choices, her life, and her being and her purpose way more. And it's hard. I feel like I don't really have many people to talk about this with, but you know, hence why we have the Spiritually Her community where we're tapping into that. Now, I know sometimes It's like, as a woman, we feel this call, we feel this push towards a higher purpose or a higher calling, but you're probably wondering, like, how do we pour into these gifts? How do we literally embrace the call? So, if you've been feeling like spirit is literally tugging at your soul, then here's how you begin to answer. I know for me, it was getting still. Because when we're like busy and we're just like doing daily life, it's hard to really tune in. And it's like when you're having a phone conversation. If you're on a phone conversation and it's like so much chaos and distractions that are around you, it's hard to listen to that conversation and really tune into what they're saying. So then you remove yourself and you go to another area and you finish the conversation so that you can hear clearly. This is that spiritual way to do that. Because once you get still, isolate yourself for a minute, it doesn't have to be long. Spend about 5 minutes in silence, asking, what do I need to remember? Because, or honestly, don't even ask yourself anything. Just allow the opportunity and the space for the signs to get louder. I know also for me this week, what I have been doing is journaling, asking myself, like, where have I abandoned myself? What would it feel like to come home to these gifts? And why have I been running from it? Like, really tuning in and understanding that inner shadow of what has caused you to be running away from who you are being called to be. Also, you guys know how I feel about affirmations. Literally speaking life into yourself. I don't care if you have to light a candle and just stand there in the mirror or whatever that may be for you. Create your own ritual of speaking life into yourself, stating, I release who I am not. I return to who I've always been. I am not lost. I am coming home. Honor your spiritual gifts, your intuition, those gut feelings, your dreams, your creativity, your sensitivity. I'm here to tell you, baby, it is not too much. It is just your compass to direct you to who you are and who you are meant to be. Also, find a sacred space or create a sacred space. I don't care if it's just like a little corner where you can tune in to your higher self. Tune in your home, your peace, your temple, whatever that safe space, that is your home. You don't have to know the whole path, you just need to say yes to the first step. Because I know that a lot of women don't answer the call because somewhere deep down, they don't feel worthy of returning home or they feel like they're not ready. You're probably saying that you need to heal more, you need to be more, do more. But no, you are worthy of peace. You are worthy of clarity and you are worthy of alignment right now. You don't have to be perfect for this homecoming. You just have to be willing. Willing. And I want to just go into it was this book that I've been reading as well, and it's called Damaged but Not Destroyed and by Michael Todd, right? And it was something that literally spoke out to me. And it is this quote: what you don't transform will be transferred. I'm going to say that again. What you don't transform will be transferred. And however that resonates with you, I want you to resonate with that. But for me, how I connected with that was that whatever I don't change that isn't in alignment, that isn't me, whatever habits that are me, whatever thoughts or mindset that isn't me and is someone else's negative thoughts or viewpoints or perspectives, whatever it is, if it's not transformed, this is where that alchemy comes into play. If it's not transformed, then it will be transferred. And this is why I created the Spiritually Her podcast, where we are on the journey to our higher selves, because I feel like we are the collective that has been strongly guided to ancestral veneration, to be the cycle breakers, to transform not only our lives and ourselves, but our bloodline and the destinies to our bloodlines. So, this is why every step that you take from here is a step toward the best version of you. The authentic, oh God, I said that word wrong, but the authentic version of you. And if you're listening to this, guys, you are not behind. You are not broken. This is your reintroduction. No more stepping back. We're stepping deeper, deeper into our truth, deeper into our purpose, deeper into ourselves. So, welcome home. Get comfortable here. Get comfortable being seen in your authenticity, being seen in your gifts, in your sensitivity, in your vulnerability. All right? Now, I love you guys so freaking much. And just before we end this episode here, again, season 2 of Spiritually Her is going to be the elevation, where we are getting freer and even more aligned. But before we go there, just know that you are not seeking something outside of yourself. You are remembering who you are. And so thank you so much for being on this journey with me. Season 1 was just the beginning, and I cannot wait for the glow up that's coming for all of us. All right, guys. I love you. I mean it. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Spiritually Her. I hope you felt inspired, empowered, and ready to take the next step on your journey. If you love this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Let's keep the conversation going. You can connect with me on TikTok at Surrenity101. That's SURRENITY 101. And on Instagram at spiritually.her. I love to hear your thoughts, breakthroughs, or even what topics you want to dive into next. Until next time, remember, your power is already within you. Keep shining and simply stay spiritually her. Bye!